guys, I'm Alastair from Trail and Kale, and this is my Saucony Endorphin Rift review. And that is these trail running shoes here. Before I get into this review, if you're not familiar with Trail and Kale yet, we are a website designed to help you run your best. That's through our free training plans, running shoe reviews just like this one, and our 101 running advice as well. So if you're not familiar yet, definitely head over to trailandkale.com and check it out. I think you're really going to like this site if you're into running. I've already been running in the Saucony Endorphin Rift for a little bit now, run quite a bit of varied terrain, also quite a bit of climbing, some flats, a few descents as well. I'm going to have a few more descents on this run, but I've had a good idea of what they kind of feel like and how they perform, so I'm forming an opinion. But before I get into the details and nitty-gritty of this review, I'm going to be running in them a little bit more, and I'll take you along with me for the ride. But I want to quickly go over the key stats first. They cost $170, so fairly premium for a all-rounder trail running shoe. Who are they for? Well, anyone who wants to run fast and have a responsive midsole. What does responsive mean? Well, something that helps propel you forward, not the most cushioned by any means, but something that will basically feel nice and responsive and give you good control on the trails. And that's what these shoes are for, and who they're really for. How do they fit? Well, they are very much true to size. Oh man, I'm getting eaten alive by these mosquitoes. So I'm gonna make this segment as quick as I can. The midsole uses PWRRUN PB foam with SPEEDROLL tech. What does that all mean? Well, PWRRUN PB foam is Saucony's foam, which is, like I said just a minute ago, it's very responsive, does have a bit of cushioning and protection in it. And the SPEEDROLL tech, well, that's just the shape of the midsole and the outsole, how it combines together and how it keeps you moving forward. Allows you to have a nice quick cadence and effectively just keep going. And that's what this SPEEDROLL tech is all about. Does it work? Well, feels pretty good to me. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking by any means, like an extreme rocker, for example, but I do feel that responsiveness, and it does feel really nice. Now, the outsole uses PowerTrack rubber compound, and it's got 4.5mm lugs, so fairly aggressive. I'll show you again now. That's what those lugs look like. Pretty aggressive, and I really like how they wrap around the front. More on that in just a minute, but this is what I mean. They go quite high up under the toes, which really helps you climb. Then there is a 6mm drop from heel to toe, and they're very much a neutral stability shoe, so there's no additional support in there if you suffer from any kind of pronation issues or anything like that. So they're very much a neutral shoe, and that will be very nice for most people. And then finally, they weigh 9.5 ounces for a size US 9 men's, and that is my pair. So that's actually pretty lightweight for a trail running shoe like this. If you're enjoying this review, please give it a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. Alright, you made it to the juicy part of this review where I share the things I like and the features that maybe could be improved in the next version. So I'm going to start off with saying I really enjoyed the fit, which is really important in a trail running shoe because you'll likely be running for longer than you are on the roads. So you need a shoe that will keep up with you and stay comfortable throughout all the climbs, the varied terrain, water, mud, everything. You need a shoe that feels good for that. And I really like how they feel. This upper, I wasn't sure what to expect at first. I didn't think it was going to be comfortable just because it kind of looks like this neoprene wetsuit type thing. And the collar around here, I just didn't think it would be comfortable. But actually, it feels really good when you're running, and I like the way this kind of acts as a built-in gaiter of sorts. That helps keep all this dirt from going into the shoe. So a nice little feature, And I love how they fit and how breathable they are as well, because this upper here does have nice breathability holes inside it, which you can see. The next thing I like is the addition of nice little features that they didn't really have to add. Like for example, this elasticated loop, which allows you to stow the laces out of the way in there. That's really nice. Also, you've got this finger pull at the front and at the rear. So you would have seen at the start of this review me putting the shoes on. You wouldn't be able to put the shoes on without using those loops. It's just near impossible. So I like that they added them, and it's very much necessary. Next thing I really like then is the midsole and the responsiveness. So they're not the most plush or cushioned, but that leads to responsiveness and propulsion. There's no plate in these shoes, but it does feel like there's something in there propelling you forward. Now there's a stack height of 33 millimeters at the rear, 27 at the front, which, as I said before, gives a 6 millimeter drop if you're a mathematician. And so you feel really nice and connected with a drop like that, connected to the trails, and you have plenty of control as well. So I like what they've done there. And then finally, the thing I like is the outsole. This one's a double-edged sword because it's not perfect by any means, but those 4.5 millimeter lugs under here, and the ones at the front of a shoe here, really help you claw into the trails as you're going uphill. And also it's very good on a wide variety of terrain as well, so from thick mud to dry trails, but one place where it doesn't do very well is on slick, wet rocks. And you probably saw from the clip earlier on that I was slipping a little bit on a steep climb trying to climb up some wet rocks. So that's really the only place where they didn't perform as well as I wanted them to. But for anything like thick mud, forest trails, dry rock, dusty paths, gravel, anything like that, these 4.5 millimeter lugs are actually really good. Features that could be improved for the next version then? Well, there's only two things really. That would be the midsole. While it is responsive, I just prefer a little bit more cushioning in my trail running shoes so I can go a little bit longer out on the trails without my feet feeling it after 20 odd kilometers or something like that. And then the other thing I mentioned earlier is the outsole rubber compound. While the lugs are really aggressive and perform pretty well on a lot of terrain, they don't on wet, slick rocks. So if you have that kind of terrain where you live, these trail running shoes probably aren't going to be for you. One other little downside I've noted on steep downhills is the inside of the toe bumper is quite solid. So you really will have to get a very secure fit here in order to stop your feet sliding forward and hitting the inside of this, because it is a solid reinforced toe cap or toe bumper, and it's quite solid on the inside of that. So I'm noticing my foot is sliding forward a little bit and my big toe is hitting the front of the inside of a bumper. So I feel like that could be improved in the next version. That said, the Endorphin Rift is an incredible shoe, and I think for $170 it's pretty well priced. It does do a lot of things. It's very responsive, so if you do like to run fast, maybe distances under half marathon, then these are great shoes. Just make sure you're not doing it in a wet on slick rock. But you will have a great time running in these shoes. They're comfortable, breathable, like I said, responsive, and I think they look great too. If you enjoyed this Saucony Endorphin Rift review, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one, where we take you outside of the office, outside of the labs. We take you on the trails, we take you on the roads with us whilst we're running in the shoes, so that you can see what we put them through and to show that we really do test our shoes to the max. So if that sounds like your bag, then definitely subscribe to his channel for more running shoe reviews just like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.